Alright, how's it going today, guys? So, we're going to fiddle around with this power a little bit because now that I have my oxygen and chlorine running out up there, so any excess is gotten rid of, and now that we have the pyrolusite running over here, using up all of our hydrochloric acid, we're actually running a lot of our chlorine over here. Most of the time that machine is running, as you can see now, and then so is these filling up the hydrochloric acid again. So I'm going through a lot of that chlorine and getting rid of all the excess oxygen. I'm actually filling up on hydrogen, and our way of getting rid of hydrogen, because you can see that this is not running, and that's because that is full of hydrogen. And our way of getting rid of that is through this setup, but it cannot, it can't do its thing because the battery box is full. So we need to get this dealt with. And we need the main power. Let's do this. So we need this main power going up here, I think is what we're going to do. And so we're going to take this out of here. And we're going to run it like right across there. Let's take these out of here. And we know that everything on that side can run with those 2 amps coming out of there and us not having any issues. So we're going to come out here. That's the new cable I made. I want to use this cable eventually, but I don't know that I'm going to have, well, actually I better use it now or I'm going to have a problem. So I'm putting in 4X cable. I won't have enough if I'd only use 2 there. So we're going to run this over here, and we're going to go out from here, and then that'll run over for everything this way. And since this is the one that's running, which I actually should probably redo this one, because don't we have that one running off there. We have this one running that and this. So I probably should redo that actually. But for right now, we're just going to do this. So we're going to connect that over to there. Now it looks like I need at least one more, which I shouldn't run the way I am, but, well, I am. And then the only other thing we need to do is figure out how we're getting power into this one. Because I think I should be able to do this and be okay. And then basically run this down along this side. And then I can use the rest of this to go this way. And this is where it's going to be going into here. And I have one of those electrum cables left. Let me look at something real quick. Let's see. If I do 2 there, I'd feel safer. So let's see if I have enough of those left. I'm cooking up some more, but it's not quite done yet. Let's take 16 and throw them in here. And I wanted 2 of them like that. And this is all temporary, because once we get the platinum stuff set up, then we're going to be using platinum cables through and transforming things differently, probably. But this is just so things can run now. Alright, so we're going to take that one out. And we're going to take this one and put it in there. So now that'll power the whole system. Going back that way just fine. And then this one needs to go into here. And I don't want to use these electrons. I want to use these. And these we're going to have go into here. So now that will start draining this battery, which will allow this to drain into it. And it'll fill into these batteries, which then can output up there and over here. Now, I'm thinking that I could make this look a little bit better. If I take that out and I actually put it up here, and we want that going that way, and we want it reversed. And then we can go that way, and that'll look a little bit better, I think. And then I'm actually going to take this off of here, since this is no longer our main. I may end up making another one of these to put on there, but this is our main. This is the one we need to know how much power we have at any given time. And then I have the energy sensor that we can now put onto here. And if we check this one, the setting we have it for is emits weak, redstone scales up. And this one emits redstone weak, scales up. So then that'll be the exact same settings as what we have for the other one. And now we can send a redstone signal out from there over to here to turn this on and off. But I was informed of something, and I want to check it because I don't remember it being a thing. So we're going to test it and find out. So let me turn this on, run it completely dry of fuel, and then we're going to try it. Because I was going by the way we always had to do it in GT5. And honestly, there's so many years between me building these that, well, I kind of forget. And I was told by Poll that the redstone does not have to be on the controller or the main block, that it can be on any of these. And that I didn't have to do this through the block thing. So let that run its way down there, and then as soon as it is not going to waste power or waste fuel, because honestly I don't know if this is going to keep its tank contents when I break the... It should. Honestly, it should work like a tank upstairs, where if you break one of the side things, the controller actually holds the information. It should. And just breaking one of these wouldn't matter, but I want to make sure. And since we are running this thing out of power, our boilers have turned back on. So that is working beautifully. Now if this thing would just get drained of its power so it can get filled back up, it will be good. Alright, so this is off. So now let's take this block out of here. I can leave those things on and just take this off. And now if I put this here and we put the block back there, and we put the lever up here, and we connect this back up, alright, and then it actually does. Alright, so I learned something new today. It does take the whole thing. You do not have to do that. So I wonder if that means I could do the same thing on my distillation tower. Because I did the distillation tower the same way, trying to get into that main controller. Alright, so now we can wire this up to get turned on and off, but I need to figure out how I want to do it, because I always want to leave power for this to drain into there. I want to leave room for it to drain into there. And like I was telling you, I talked to XAR about it, and he said it can go on and off without an issue. But I also don't want to do it with just a straight on-off signal, because then we're going to have the problem of it turning on and off constantly when it gets below that one threshold. So I am still going to need to do... I need to put that one to go down to the basement as well. But that means I'm going to need to do something like this. But over there. That way it has some threshold that it runs at. So if it gets below a certain, then it'll turn on. And when it gets up to a certain number, it'll turn off. But I'll probably have that certain number at the top. Basically like that one down there where it turns off at like 13. I'll probably copy that exactly over. And just use that because... with this one, I needed to shut off at 13 so that the boilers wouldn't be going and still putting out heat and making excess power that was getting wasted. Where with this one, I needed to shut off earlier to leave a gap of power free for this to input to when it needs to. But what I might actually be able to do, because I don't need this to run whenever we're low on power here, because we should always be low on power here. Honestly, I should rewire this up to where this battery box is actually over here. Like, stick it right there. I just have to make sure it's not trying to take power from here, so I could move it to, like, say here. Then I wouldn't be getting errant electricity through this into it. I could put it here. Because by going through each one of these cables, I'm losing power. So if I move this battery box and just had this go over moving the cell, it would actually be better. I could actually move this whole thing because this isn't powering anything but this. So I think I might do that. I think off camera I'm going to move this over there so we're not wasting so much hydrogen. From the lava, it's not a big deal. And honestly, I don't want to move this whole contraption over there. And so we'll leave this here. Why does that look like it's not connected there? This is distilled water, right? Yeah. So why does that look like it's not connected right there? Oh, because it's that little bitty hole. It is connected. Alright. So yeah, I think I'm going to move that over to make this a little bit more efficient. But for the most part, that's what I'm going to do. And then I will work on changing over the on-off from here over to there. If you guys want to see how I did that RS switch thing, please go back and watch this because it's a pain in the butt trying to get it set up, especially when I've got to think about it. And honestly, I use a picture. I can't remember this whole setup. This is why I'm begging Greg to give us a redstone control block, where we can basically put different components into it or something, like circuits and comparators, repeaters, and be able to tell it exactly what we want it to do. So if we wanted this, which is a redstone contraption, we would basically put in the tags to the settings that we want them, put in a couple comparators, and put in, like, say, a T6 circuit or something. And that combination of stuff would say that we want a high-low signal that is set to 3 and 13. Or just any two tags, two comparators, some wires, some torches, whatever, and then be able to set what the high and low signals are with a screwdriver or something. It's something to where it makes this a little less tedious to set up. And then you could also do and signals or signals, so we wouldn't have to set up these. We could do and ors with it, that kind of stuff. Just some way to make the redstoning part a little bit less tedious. Because with my old brain, trying to remember this is not good. You know, I'm no Etho. I can't keep all these redstone contraptions in my head. I love that with GT6 you can do it in so much smaller, so much better way than vanilla, but it would also be nice if we had something we could basically copy the circuit and put it somewhere else without having to tediously sit and do each one of those connections. So in between now and the next episode, I'll get that part done. With this being able to run the way it is, and with this having a bottomless way of dumping into these big old batteries, I don't have an issue with how much power I'm going to have over here, so I'm not going to need to turn this on. And then we also need to look at how we're going to be getting the CO2 and water out of here. Because, one, I need to get my trash can back over where it needs to be. And for two, I don't want to strictly waste both of them. Especially, that's putting out regular water, right? Propane. Yeah, that's putting out regular water. So that's something that we could be actually dumping over here into our tank to help with all of the things in this room that take water. So we're not just voiding the water and sucking it up through that drain all the time. We could actually be using some of it. And as you can see, we don't have any CO2 or very little CO2 actually being electrolyzed right now to make us carbon that we can actually be using to make pipes eventually. So all the CO2 that I can capture and electrolyze will get me more carbon for later on. Like, I've only got 12,000 or 1,200 carbon right now, so if I can capture that carbon and use it, but then void any excess so it isn't stopping regular production, I'd like to do so. So I need to look into that as well. And then as soon as this gets done, which that ferric chloride is now down to almost equal with what we have in pyrite, or the manganese chloride, so it's doing its job. And we're getting a decent amount of lithium perchloride over here, so that's nice. So hopefully I can get that manganese done soon, so I can actually get the stainless done, and we can start working on the Aquariga stuff, because I really don't want to set up chrome pipes. That's actually what I was thinking about doing, and I really don't want to have to do it. And it's nice that that actually outputs. I just noticed that that forced its output. I like that. Alright, and how are we doing on our shredder over here? Yeah, that's what I was worried about. The wolframite takes so long to get shredded that even with that 64, it still fills up. I may end up having to put in another chest that dumps into this one for anything that comes in from over here or from downstairs. Or what I probably just need to do is deal with it like this until I can make the big one. And I'll be making the big one pretty soon once I get the crystal circuits done. Alright, so I think that's it for today. I've managed to get all the chromite electrolyzed, so we have a decent amount of chromium now. We got 132. I still need to run all of this chromite that we collected, but I need to get this down here finished up where I get these reconnected. I don't have any of these set up yet, so as soon as I get them set up again, then I can run that. But 132 is good for the moment, and since we're using so much sulfuric dioxide with all the iron we're getting, we're actually able to roast again, so that is beautiful, which is using up more oxygen, so we don't have to expel as much of it out there. Alright, so y'all have a good one, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.